If you're running an agency or a coaching business and you're making over 10K a month, but you cannot reach 100K monthly, I have to tell you that it's really difficult to reach 100K a month before you actually do. And then when you start reaching 100K a month, it's super simple to keep being at that level because you understand how to make 100K a month. For me personally, it took forever. First 2 years, I was stuck at like 50K a month. I just couldn't scale. No matter what I did, I literally tried everything. I wasn't able to scale past like 50, max 60K in the best month, but never 100. And I remember how around 2 years ago or so, I hit my first 100K a month. It was the most unbelievable thing ever. However, it just kept happening. And we scaled later on to 250K, then 300K, then 400K. And now we're around 500K a month in cash collected. Now, let me give you the main pointers, which I would give myself at anywhere between 10 and 50K a month, how I should scale to 100 back in the day. Very first of all, identify the most money-making activities and do them. Only those, nothing else. The rest of the things you do should not be done during work hours. Let's imagine cold calling people as the most money-making activity you have. The very first step is restructuring your life in a way where cold calling is done every day, 8 hours a day. And now you're going to tell me, yeah, but it's not possible. I have to do fulfillment. I have to keep my clients happy, etc. So have all your client calls on Sundays, bang out the entire day with one-on-ones, group calls, whatever you have to do. Of course, you cannot just not do them, but just do that only on the weekend. And then you can tell people, all right, I can do WhatsApp support during those hours. And then you basically have 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, done. No more customer support throughout the day while you have to do more important things. Step number 2 is no matter what you're doing, one thing is always going to help, and it's personal brand. It doesn't matter what your lead generation method is. In between them signing up to your call or you calling them the first time and the actual sales call, there's going to be at least one day in between. During that day, they should be able to consume content of yours. If they're not able to, you're losing out on probably the biggest conversion rate jump you're ever going to have in your life. From not having a personal brand to having a decent personal brand, that's the biggest jump in conversion rate you're ever going to experience. So please start doing a personal brand. If you don't have one yet, it's the number one priority. You should start a YouTube channel. That's the main thing. Having long form content where you show your competency. That's all what this is about. And then you're also going to see how through YouTube directly a shit ton of new leads will come in. But the main point of your YouTube channel is not even that. It's just enhancing your current lead generation methods. So it doesn't matter if it's cold ads, cold calls, whatever it is, do YouTube. The next thing you need to follow, and this is a must-have, only having 1 or 2 core offers, and that's it. Before you make 100K a month, you shouldn't be selling a book, a mini video course, a mini $5 community. None of that. Don't have cheap lead magnets, which are deterring people from buying your actual thing. Just have high-ticket offers only, which start bare minimum with like 2-3K, and then have more expensive stuff as well for people who have more money. But that's it. You shouldn't have any cheap things. Because I understand how you might feel super cool if you make like 20K, 30K with some lead magnet where you charge like $50 a month for a Discord community, but that's not scalable. That's not the goal. If you would pitch all these thousands and thousands of people on a high ticket offer, of course, less people would buy, but you would make so much more money. The next thing I want to say, and it's going to conflict a little bit with the first point I made, but I'm going to explain. Results and case studies are more important than upfront money. Happy clients, which achieve the dream outcome, what you promise, is the core fundamental of your entire business. If you're actually able to achieve consistent results with your clients, the way you start marketing is going to be so much different. In my e-commerce coaching business, the way how I sell is not through saying anything. It's just me interviewing my client for an hour, multiple times a week on my YouTube channel, like different clients every time. And this is something which is not possible to do without having tons of happy clients, right? Every time I post a case study, it makes me anywhere between 50 and like 200K. The money I make from them is actually that high because what happens is they compound, and a person who watched 10 of my case studies is just gonna buy. It's as simple as that. Having credibility from the case studies, and also you should be having a 5-figure upsell, something between 10 and like 40K, which you sell to the advanced students, which already started seeing the results and now have another higher level problem. And this is something you need to learn. Every person has a different type of problem. In the beginning, the main issue you have in a coaching business is sales and leads. After that's done, the next issue is going to be team management. Then the next problem is going to be how do you invest your money if you're making over $1 million in profit a year? You start having just higher level problems, which you can solve with the next upsell. So this is something which you always need to have in place. After somebody achieved the result which you promised, with the result they achieved, they will have the next problem. And you should be having the solution to the next thing and then sell them that as well. The next skill you need to learn is speaking really well on sales calls and in front of the camera. Those two things are going to carry your entire business. If you have people who consume your content before your sales calls and you actually sound really competent in your videos and they can just tell you know your shit, you know what you're doing, it's very easy to close them. On every business I have, we have 80% plus closing rates. It's unheard of. It just doesn't happen without a personal brand. And people who come to me in the sales call are so framed already. They know I'm the expert. They just want to buy, and they do. And this only happens from the way I speak and how I convey the messages I want to convey. The interesting thing here is when I started YouTube, I already made money with business generally. So the very first YouTube video I posted was good from the things I said, but the way I said it, the way I packaged it was terrible. That's why the first video sucked. And the first 10 videos also sucked. And I didn't sound like I know what I'm doing. However, over time, I understood how to speak properly and what is good and what is bad. My knowledge of dropshipping itself didn't really change, but it didn't matter because the only thing which matters is, do I sound like I know more about dropshipping? And all of a sudden I sounded like I know so much more about dropshipping than before. So this is a skill which is just going to propel you to 100K a month. Speaking well is a must-have. If you don't have that, it's genuinely super difficult to actually start seeing high levels of results. Because the same thing happens to cold ads. If you speak well in front of the camera, your cold ads are going to improve. Your sales calls are going to improve. Your YouTube videos are going to improve. Your Instagram, everything in your life literally is going to get better the better you actually are able to articulate yourself. The next thing you need is productive work. I understand that it might feel like you already made it after you make like 10 to 30K a month. In reality, we both know you're pretty broke. You're not making a lot of money. After all the taxes you pay and all your expenses, you don't even have like 10K a month left. But you feel like you made it because you see the revenue and you feel cool about it, whatever. This is something which deters you from getting to 100K. Because what most people start to do is traveling and all this bullshit, when in reality, they need an office. And you should treat this like a 9 to 5, but just way more work, and not 9 to 5, but like 9 to 9. Ideally, and this is what we did, is you get an actual office with employees and you do everything like a regular business. You don't feel like a freelance entrepreneur online business guy. You're a business owner. You have an office, you go there, your employees go there, you work all together, and you are going to be more productive. Because whenever you have other people around you who are watching yourself, you're going to feel accountable and you will have to show them how it's done, when to show up, when to go, how much to work, how the breaks are going to be. All these things, they're going to mimic you. So you're going to be so much more productive if you just have one person next to you doing the same thing with you. And this leads me to my next point, which is hiring. And you don't have to have crazy hires to make 100K a month. 100K is relatively chill. You just need like 2-3 guys, usually one editor, one setter, and one person who just helps you with client delivery, fulfillment, and those things. If you have those 3 things covered, and maybe one more person as an assistant who's just going to do your taxes and all the receipts and all these little things, that's going to be enough. And sometimes in the beginning, you can use one person for multiple roles. So maybe the person who's doing your editing can also file your taxes if you don't have enough content, or your setter can do the same. So usually like 3 people are going to be more than enough. And the easiest way to hire is just getting your clients and hiring those, because that's the biggest pool you have. The biggest pool of people you actually know is either personal contact or the clients you actually worked with and they saw success. Usually they're going to be super down to help beginner clients with reaching their goals as well. So you have fulfillment help right away. On top of that, you're going to find somebody who already has sales experience and you're going to be able to get them to do the setting calls for you. And the same thing is editing. Most of the times, if you have like 50 clients, one of them is going to be good at editing, which you actually like, and it's not going to be that difficult to hire. Especially with editors, the way to hire editors the easiest is you just go to Instagram, search up any editing tutorial page, and you just look at all the followers and you just text them, hey, I like your work, I want to hire you. One really important concept I have to touch on is the time delay in between the actions you do and the results which come from that. It always is delayed with a couple of months, sometimes even with a couple of years. Your actions today are not going to show results today. You did everything right, you made $0. You made everything right tomorrow, $0. You do the same for 2 months and all of a sudden you start making a shit ton of money. This is a very common thing and you just need to understand that you're on the right path and you need to do actions which are the most compounding. What I personally saw is personal brand and speaking really well. Those 2 things are the most compounding things ever, because the more videos you have, the more your audience is going to grow, and also the more your talking skills grow as well. The impact you're going to see from this over the next half a year, maybe even a year, is going to be ridiculous. If you think a little bit long term, it's going to start becoming easy to get to 100K a month if you just give it some time. Obviously, there always are shortcuts, and one of them is having a person who did exactly what you wanted to do guide you one-on-one. And this is exactly what we're doing with this agency channel. Here on this channel, I help intermediate and advanced agencies and coaches to scale to the next level. level. So if you want to get to your first 6-figure month and then have that on a consistent basis and scale even further, like I did with my e-commerce coaching, which is making $500K a month, you can directly learn from me right now. Just click the link below, sign up for a call. The call is going to be with me directly, and we're going to see if it's a good fit. And if yes, we're going to start having weekly calls with me, one-on-one, which is literally unheard of with people at my level, because usually they don't take one-on-ones at all. Why we're doing it right now is genuinely, I don't have shit to do with my e-commerce business. It's all automated. It's making my $500K a month on passive. And what I want to do right now is I want to build a network of high-level coaches and agency owners. And this is the best way to do it. So if you're interested, click the link below and I will talk to you soon.